गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। तो कुछ क्वेश्चंस डिस्कस करते हैं थर्मोडाइनमिक्स पे। क्वेश्चन ऐसा है, आइसोथर्मली एट 300 केल्विन 1 मोल ऑफ ए वैन डर वाल्स गैस expands reversibly from 2 liter to 20 liter. Calculate the work done if A is equal to 1.42 to 10 to the power 12 9 per centimeter to the power 4 per mole and B is equal to 30 cc. So this is given in the question. Now we will solve. तो वर्क क्या होता है, W इज इक्वल टू माइनस ऑफ P एक्सटर्नल dV when volume is changing from V1 to V2, ये वर्क होता है। तो ये बोल रहा है कि आइसोथर्मल प्रोसेस रिवर्सिबल, अगर आइसोथर्मल रिवर्सिबल प्रोसेस है तो हम लोग क्या कर सकते हैं, P एक्सटर्नल को P इंटरनल ले सकते हैं क्योंकि डिफरेंस ज़्यादा नहीं होता है। तो इसको हम लोग क्या करेंगे, माइनस P इंटरनल dV V1 टू V2 ले लेंगे। ओके, तो P इंटरनल क्या होगा, P इक्वल्स टू nRT बाई V नहीं लगा सकते क्योंकि ये तो आइडियल गैस नहीं है, वैन डर वाल्स गैस है। तो हम लोग क्या लगाएंगे, यहाँ पे क्या फॉर्मूला यूज़ करेंगे, तो यहाँ पे P इंटरनल रियल गैस इक्वेशन या वैन डर वाल्स गैस इक्वेशन का पुट करेंगे। तो वैन डर वाल्स गैस इक्वेशन का फॉर्मूला क्या है, फॉर 1 मोल P प्लस A बाई वी स्क्वायर इंटू V माइनस बी इज इक्वल टू RT। तो P इसमें क्या होगा, तो P प्लस A बाई वी स्क्वायर इज इक्वल टू V माइनस बी उस तरफ ले लिए, RT बाई V माइनस बी। तो P जो है RT अपॉन V माइनस बी माइनस A बाई वी स्क्वायर, ये आता है P ऑफ द गैस। तो वही चीज़ पुट कर दिए, माइनस इंटीग्रेशन V1 V2 इंस्टेड ऑफ P वी कैन राइट RT बाई V माइनस बी माइनस A बाई वी स्क्वायर होल इंटू dV। ये हो गया हमारा इक्वेशन। तो अभी हम इसको डेरिवेशन करेंगे, ठीक है। तो इसको डेरिवेशन करने के लिए, ये तो अंदर माइनस है, इसको फिर ओपन कर देते हैं, माइनस V1 V2 हो गया, फिर RT बाई V माइनस बी dV, और माइनस माइनस प्लस हो गया, इंटीग्रेशन V1 V2 A बाई वी स्क्वायर dV, ठीक है। तो ये वैल्यू क्या आएगा, माइनस V1 V2 RT ये आइसोथर्मल प्रोसेस कांस्टेंट है, RT को हम लोग बाहर ले सकते हैं, तो इधर हम RT लिख सकते हैं, RT। तो ये हो गया dV अपन V माइनस बी प्लस A dV अपन V स्क्वायर V1 टू V2। तो फिर इसको इंटीग्रेशन करेंगे तो ये होगा माइनस RT, इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ dV बाई V माइनस बी होगा ln V माइनस बी, तो इसका लिमिट पुट कर देते हैं, RT ln V2 माइनस बी डिवाइडेड बाई V1 माइनस बी। ओके, तो प्लस A इंटीग्रेशन ऑफ 1 बाई वी स्क्वायर होता है माइनस 1 बाई वी, तो ये होगा माइनस 1 बाई वी, तो उसका लिमिट पुट कर देते हैं, माइनस 1 बाई V2 अगेन माइनस ऑफ माइनस, तो प्लस 1 बाई V1। ऐसे आएगा। ओके, तो ये वैल्यू कितना होगा माइनस, तो माइनस होल ओवर कॉमन ले लो। ओके, माइनस होल कॉमन लेने से क्या आएगा, आर टी एल एन वी टू माइनस बी डिवाइडेड बाय वी वन माइनस बी। तो यहाँ से माइनस कॉमन ले लिए, तो ये वन बाई वी वन माइनस वन बाई वी टू है। तो अगर हम माइनस कॉमन लेंगे तो यहाँ पे माइनस कर देंगे, तो ए कर दो वन बाय वन बाय वी वन माइनस वन बाई वी टू। ओके, तो अभी उसका वैल्यू पुट कर देंगे, तो माइनस आर टी एल एन, तो जो यूनिट दिया है बी का वही यूनिट वॉल्यूम लेंगे, वॉल्यूम लेकिन लीटर में दिया है, लेकिन बी का यूनिट सेंटीमीटर क्यूब में दिया है। तो 1 लीटर 1000 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब, तो वही पुट कर देते हैं, या बी को हम लीटर में भी ले सकते हैं। तो जो भी करो एक ही चीज़ कर सकते हैं। V2 जो है 20,000 लीटर कर दो, माइनस बी कितना है, बी है 30 डिवाइडेड बाय V1 2 लीटर है, तो 2000 लीटर कर दो, माइनस 30 माइनस ए का वैल्यू कितना है 1.42 इंटू 10⁻12। तो ये CGS यूनिट में है, तो वॉल्यूम को भी CGS यूनिट में कर दो, 1 बाई V1 कितना है हमारा 2 लीटर, 2 लीटर मीन्स 2000 ml 2000 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब, माइनस 1 बाई 20,000 सेंटीमीटर क्यूब। तो ये यूनिट अगर दोनों डायमेंशन सेम है तो आंसर आएगा। तो ये आंसर हमारा जूल में नहीं आएगा, फिर हम इसको यूज़ कर रहे हैं डाई CGS यूनिट में, तो अर्ग में आएगा। तो जो आंसर अर्ग में आएगा इसको सॉल्व करो, तो ये आंसर दिया है 5778 इंटू 10⁻7 अर्ग आएगा। तो 10⁻7 अर्ग 1 जूल होता है, तो ये होगा 5778 जूल। तो ये होगा आंसर। ओके, ये सिंपल है, खाली रियल गैस इक्वेशन में इसको पुट करना है। तो सेकंड क्वेश्चन देखो, कैलकुलेट द स्टैंडर्ड एंट्रोपी चेंज फॉर ए रिएक्शन X reversible reaction with Y if the value of delta H0 given 28.40 kilojoule and equilibrium constant is given 1.8 into 10⁻⁷ at 298 Kelvin. This is the information given in the question. Okay, so we need to find delta H0 standard entropy change, how much, and reaction is given X to Y. If the value of delta H0 is 28.40 kilojoule and equilibrium constant is given, 1.8 into 10⁻⁷. Okay, then how can we calculate delta H0? Delta H0 formula is there, delta H0 is equal to Q reversible by T, but Q is not given, then how can we get? So okay, K is given, so we can get delta G naught, standard change in free energy for this reaction. So delta G naught, we know that delta G naught is equal to minus 2.303 RT log K. So minus 2.303 into R, we can use joule unit 8.314 into T is 298 given, log K, K is given already 1.8 into 10⁻⁷. So you can get delta G naught from this, and if you calculate delta G naught, since this is 10⁻⁷ So this minus minus it will become plus. So if you calculate, this will come 38.498. I am taking in kilojoule because this is delta H not given in kilojoule, so I am converting into kilojoule. So this is coming this much kilojoule per mole. Okay. So we got delta G naught, we have delta H naught. So we can apply a formula, delta G naught is equal to delta H naught minus T delta S naught. Okay. So we need delta S naught. So let us bring T delta S naught this side. So it will be plus T delta S naught is equal to delta H naught minus delta G naught. So now delta S naught is asked. So delta H naught is S naught, entropy change is delta H naught minus delta G naught divided by T. So delta H naught minus delta G naught, how much? Delta H naught is 28.40. Delta G naught how much? We got just now 30.498. Both are in kilojoule, both units should be same, divided by 298. Okay. So this if you solve, so it will be coming minus 0.0338 kilojoule per mole per Kelvin. So this value delta S naught will be in joule. Suppose you convert it into joule, you need to multiply with 1000. So it is coming minus 33.8 joule Kelvin inverse mole inverse. Okay. So let us take next question. What should be minimum temperature at which the reaction given below will be spontaneous? Reaction is Ag2O solid changing to Ag solid and half O2 gas, and delta H is given 30.5 kilojoule per mole and delta S is given 0.066 kilojoule per Kelvin per mole. So we want to calculate a temperature at which reaction will be spontaneous, and that will be minimum temperature. So the condition for spontaneity is what? That is delta G should be less than 0. This is the condition for spontaneity. So delta G less than 0 means what? Delta G is delta H minus T delta S. Okay. And here the temperature given temperature you need to find, that should be less than 0. Okay. So if delta H minus T delta S less than 0, that means delta H should be less than T delta S. Okay. So delta H should be less than T delta S. That means T should be greater than delta H by delta S. Okay. So this implies T should be greater than delta H. What is delta H? 30.5 kilojoule per mole divided by delta S is 0.066 kilojoule per Kelvin per mole. So this value comes to be 462.12 Kelvin. So this is the temperature, minimum temperature, because more than this temperature required for spontaneity. Okay. Based on this data, the temperature should be more than this. Okay. So these questions are JEE mains level. So we can discuss some JEE advanced level question also. So let us take a question of JEE advanced level. The standard molar enthalpy change of formation of cyclohexane and benzene are given minus 156 and plus 49 kilojoule per mole. Let us write enthalpy of formation of cyclohexane, delta H, formation of cyclohexane. Cyclohexane is C6H12. This is cyclohexane. CH2, CH2, CH2 6 times, like this, CH2 6 times. Delta H formation of cyclohexane standard given is minus 156. Okay, this is given, kilojoule per mole. What else given? Delta H formation of benzene given. Okay, delta H formation of standard benzene C6H6. Benzene is like this. We can draw structure like this, benzene, or we can do benzene like this. This is benzene, and this value given is plus 49 kilojoule per mole. The standard enthalpy of hydrogenation of cyclohexene given. Enthalpy of hydrogenation of cyclohexene. Cyclohexene is like this. Cyclohexene, one alkene is there. Okay. One alkene is here, cyclohexene, and hydrogenation of this is given. If you do hydrogenation, you get cyclohexane. So this value is given how much? Minus 119 kilojoule. Use this data to estimate resonance energy of benzene. So from these all values, you need to find resonance energy of benzene. So resonance energy of benzene C6H6. So how to find resonance energy of benzene? So by definition, resonance energy is equal to delta H formation of C6H6 benzene experimental minus delta H formation of C6H6 benzene theoretical. So by definition, resonance energy means these two, and delta H formation experimental is determined by bomb calorimeter experiment, and delta H formation theoretical is determined by bond energy. By bond dissociation energy, we calculate resonance, delta H formation theoretical. So resonance energy, how to calculate? Okay, that means delta H formation benzene is required, yes, given, but delta H formation, this value given is experimental value. This is not theoretical value. This is experimental, means theoretical value if you get resonance energy. Okay, right. So bond energy, you can use bond energy to find delta H formation. So how can you get bond energy delta H formation? Okay. So you can do like this. You can take benzene structure, you know, C6H6. So benzene structure is like this. C6H6, this is benzene, remaining all are carbon. So delta H formation from benzene you can do from carbon graphite and hydrogen gas. Carbon is 6, hydrogen is 3, 2, 6. But using this, if you use bond energy, then bond energy of C graphite means atomization of graphite not given, bond energy of H2 not given. So by delta H formation equation of benzene you cannot get, then how can we get? Delta H formation theoretical we need to find. Delta H formation theoretical we can get by bond energy. So here bond energy required means this value and this value required. This data is not provided. If these data are provided, now in this delta H formation would have been bond energy of reactant minus bond energy of product, isn't it? So delta H formation theoretical we do have got, but not given. So, in this question if it is not given, so in otherwise we can try to do. How can we do? Now, this data is given, this data may be useful to find resonance energy of benzene. Let us try. So, if you do hydrogenation of one alkene, you get this much energy. Now, suppose you do hydrogenation of benzene. This contains 3 alkene. So, it requires 3 H2, then you will get cyclohexane, isn't it? So, this is there. But if you take benzene as this structure, benzene, this structure is theoretical structure, this is not actual structure. This structure benzene on hydrogenation of 3H2, you get cyclohexane, and delta H0 for this will be how much? If one alkene is hydrogenated, you get minus 119. If 3 alkenes are hydrogenated, you will get minus 3 into 119 kilojoule. Okay. Right. So, you will get this delta H naught is equal to minus 3 into 119 kilojoule of energy. This is your delta H. Okay. But this is calculated by bond energy because resonance is there in benzene. So, we can get delta H0, this is theoretical value. Now, if delta H0 for this is given and delta H formation of cyclohexane is given, this one, and benzene is given this one. So, if delta H formation of cyclohexane is given and benzene is given, then using this data, okay, you can calculate delta H formation of theoretical of benzene. This is the experimental. So, you can get theoretical of benzene. How can you get? Because delta H naught of the reaction is equal to what? Delta H formation product minus reactant. So, delta H naught for this reaction is equal to delta H formation of C6H12 minus delta H formation of C6H6. This is important step you see. So, you understood that 1 mole of H2 when hydrogenated, this much energy is used. If 3 mole of H2 is hydrogenated, obviously 3 times work is done. So, 3 times hydrogenation is done, this much energy will be released into 3. So, that you understood. Now, you tell me if delta H naught of reaction of this equation is this much, then that can be written as delta H formation of product minus reactant. Okay. So, delta H formation of product is cyclohexane, reactant is benzene plus delta H formation of H2 into 3, but this value is 0 because elementary state. Now, delta H naught is minus 357 kilojoule and delta H formation of cyclohexane is given minus 156 kilojoule. So, minus delta H formation of C6H6. So, this is your theoretical value. Why? Because this formation we are getting from bond dissociation energy. Or why bond dissociation energy? Because this data we got by bond dissociation energy. Because benzene is having resonance. So, if it is having resonance and if we get by bond dissociation energy any enthalpy of formation, that is your theoretical value. Okay. So, you know the resonance energy? Yes. Resonance energy is the difference in energy between resonance hybrid and most stable resonating structures. So, in benzene you will get 2 resonating structures like this, and resonance hybrid is, in chemical bonding you studied, resonance hybrid is neither single bond nor double bond. See, in benzene this is the structure and one more resonating structure is like this. These two are the resonating structures. Here double bond, here single bond, here double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond. Now this double bond can be written here, double bond, single bond, double bond, single bond, double bond. So now see, these two are resonating structure, but these are theoretical structure. But experimental structures is different, because if you take this structure as correct structure, then bond length between C double bond C should be 1.334 angstrom, and bond length between C single bond C should be 1.54 angstrom. Okay. So if these two structures are correct, or either structure is correct, then the bond length of benzene should have been carbon carbon single bond, so that is 1.54 angstrom, then 1.33 angstrom, 1.54 angstrom, 1.33 angstrom, 1.54 angstrom, 1.33 angstrom. So alternatively, one double bond length, one single bond length should be correct. But when we do experiment, it is found that the bond length for all are equal, and it is 1.39 angstrom. So you see 1.39 angstrom is neither single bond nor double bond, it is in between single and double bond. 1.33 से ज़्यादा है, 1.54 से कम है, तो it is in between single and double bond. So what can we say? This is neither single nor double. So this is making a partial double bond. So this is called resonance hybrid of benzene, and these two structures are resonating structure of benzene. So now the difference between resonance hybrid and resonating structure, the difference in energy is your resonance energy. This is your resonance energy. Okay. Now suppose you take this structure as correct. So this is theoretical structure, because theory explains this structure only, that is these two structures. But experimentally this structure is correct. So experimentally this structure correct means this is delta H formation experimental. These two are delta H formation theoretical. So any bond energy when used, that is delta H formation theoretical. Okay. So now using this data, bond energy data, we are getting delta H this much. If this is delta H naught, and using delta H formation of product minus reactant, delta H formation of benzene you get, that is theoretical. So this value is how much? Delta H formation C6H6 liquid is equal to, this is going that side, 357 plus 357 minus 156 is equal to plus 201 kilojoule. Okay. So delta H formation is this much kilojoule per mole. This is theoretical value. This is theoretical value, and experimental value is given. Now you tell me what is resonance energy. So resonance energy of benzene, resonance energy of benzene is delta H formation theoretical minus delta H formation experimental. So delta H formation theoretical is 49 minus delta H formation experimental is 201. So it is coming minus 152 kilojoule per mole. So this is your resonance energy of benzene. Okay. So next question you see from ionic equilibrium. The salt ZnOH2 is involved in the following two equilibria. ZnOH2 solid gives you Zn2 plus aqueous and 2OH minus aqueous. Ksp is given 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 17, and again ZnOH2 solid react with 2OH minus aqueous, giving you ZnOH4 2 minus aqueous. Kc is given 0.13. Calculate the pH at which pH of solution at which solubility is minimum. So you have to see where solubility is minimum. Okay. So for solving question you write the equation again. ZnOH2 solid giving you Zn2 plus aqueous plus 2 OH minus. Okay. So this Ksp is given. Okay. Next, ZnOH2 again react with produced OH minus, so 2 OH minus, and giving you a coordinate complex Zn OH minus 4 2 minus. Okay. Now suppose say solubility is S. Suppose S is equal to solubility. Of ZnOH2. So if S is solubility, so S will react. So S is solubility in fast reaction. There are two equations, this one, this one. So suppose solubility is S here, so it will react and give you S and 2S. But whatever 2S is coming from here is again reacting. So let us see solubility of ZnOH2 going in forward direction in second step is R. So if it is R, so if it is reacting, R is reacting, then it will give you what? 2S minus 2R, and it will give you R. So this will become 2S minus 2R. Okay. So he is telling about solubility and pH relation. So solubility and pH relation, how to get? So solubility pH means either OH minus or H plus and solubility. So here solubility in first step it is going S, second step going R. So here solubility, overall solubility of ZnOH2 will be S plus R. So now you can say solubility of Zn is S plus R. The solubility of ZnOH2 is S plus R. So S plus R means what can you write? S plus R is equal to Zn2 plus ZnOH4 2 minus. This way you can write. So S plus R is the solubility of ZnOH2 overall in this process. So Zn2 plus ZnOH4 2 minus is overall solubility. Now how to get Zn2 plus? In order to get Zn2 plus, you can write Ksp by acha. Here Ksp is what? Your Ksp will be Zn2 plus into OH minus whole square. So now Zn2 plus you can write Ksp divided by OH minus whole square, OH minus whole square, plus ZnOH4 2 minus, ZnOH4 2 minus is here. So here equilibrium constant is there. Equilibrium constant for this will be, you can write here Kc is equal to 0.13 given, that will be equal to ZnOH4 2 minus divided by OH minus whole square, because here this is solid and this is solid. So in equilibrium constant only aqueous will be expressed, solids activity taken 1, so aqueous only will be expressed. So now ZnOH4 2 minus complex concentration will be Kc into OH minus whole square, Kc into OH minus whole square. This is the expression and this is your solubility, overall solubility you can write, overall solubility. Okay. So how to get pH at which solubility is minimum? pH means OH minus, if you get, you will get pH. So he is telling solubility minimum. So something is minimum or maximum can be known by seeing the first differentiation is equal to 0. So D of solubility by D of OH should be 0, because your OH minus is changing. So if you change OH minus, pH will change. You need to find pH. So let us find OH minus. So when you differentiate, first differentiation is 0, that is the condition for maxima and minima. If second differentiation is less than 0, this condition is, first differentiation 0 is the condition for maxima. If second differentiation is greater than 0, then this will be minima. So now let us see, this may be maxima or minima, let us derive and after that we will check whether maxima or minima. So, if this is 0, then Ksp, if you differentiate this with respect to OH minus, this will come minus Ksp upon OH minus whole cube, and plus this will come 2 Kc into OH minus. So, this will be 0. If this is 0, then you can solve this side. Ksp you bring this side, Ksp divided by OH minus whole cube. Ksp divided by OH minus whole cube is equal to 2 Kc into OH minus. Okay. So, now OH minus whole fourth is equal to Ksp by 2 Kc. So, now OH minus will be how much? OH minus will be Ksp value is given how much? 1.2 into 10 to the power minus 17 divided by 2 into 0.13. So, you can calculate OH minus. If you calculate OH minus, POH you can calculate, and POH you can calculate, then pH also you can calculate. Okay. Now, double differentiation of this, let us see. If you do double differentiation of this, d square solubility divided by DOH minus square, this minus will become plus. So, this will be plus Ksp by OH minus fourth, and this will be plus 2 Kc. So, this is plus, this has to be greater than 0. This can never be negative, because OH minus and Ksp, Kc all will be positive term. This will be greater than 0. If this is greater than 0, then I told you the condition of maxima and minima. So, first differentiation equals to 0 will be the condition for minima. So, at this condition it will be minimum. If it is minimum, OH minus you get, POH, pH you will find, and pH is the condition for minima. So, if you can solve, you will get the answer. Okay, right? So, next question you see, 25 ml of dilute solution of para-hydroxybenzoic acid is titrated with NaOH. The solution has pH equals to 4.57 when 8.12 ml of 0.02 molar NaOH has been added. Okay. And pH is 7.02 after 16.24 ml has been added. So, this is first equivalent point. What are K1 and K2? So, what is done? Para-hydroxybenzoic acid. Let us write the equation. So, this is para-hydroxybenzoic acid. Para-hydroxybenzoic acid is titrated with NaOH. This is titrated with NaOH. Para-hydroxybenzoic acid how much? 25 ml. Is titrated with NaOH. The solution has pH 4.57 when 8.12, this is 8.12 ml, excuse me, 0.02 molar NaOH, 0.02 molar NaOH has been added. When this is added, reaction will be what? Reaction will be like this, OH COONA, this is reaction, and water will come out. He is telling that if you add this much, pH is 4.57. He is telling pH is 4.57. Okay. If you add this much, and pH is 7.02. He is telling pH is 7.02. After addition of 16.24, double of this then, 16.24 ml. If you add same concentration, then pH is this much, and he is telling this is equivalent point. This is equivalent point means complete reaction then. Oh, first equivalent point is telling. This is first equivalent point is telling. So, if you react this with NaOH, you will get CONa plus water. Why first equivalent point? Is there second equivalent point? Yes. So, if you add more NaOH, NaOH can neutral this OH, H plus of this OH. So, you will get O minus Na benzene CONa. So, again it can be neutralized. He is telling first equivalent point only. So, in first equivalent point 16.24 ml is added. pK1, pK2 you have to get for for para-hydroxybenzoic acid. So, obviously this is pK1 and this is pK2. How to get? You see, when he is telling this is equivalent point, first equivalent point. So, this is first equivalent point, and half if you add this is coming. If this is equivalent point by adding 16.24 ml, then half of this is added, that means this must be half equivalent point. So, this is half equivalent point or half neutralization point. Okay. So, this is half equivalent point or half neutralization point, because half of this added means it is completely neutralized or equivalent consumed, and half is added means half equivalent point. We know that at half equivalent point pH equals to pK. So, here at half equivalent point it will work as buffer and pH is equal to pK1. Why 1? Because this is first neutralization only, second neutralization not started. So, pH equals to pK1, it is working as a buffer. This is known. This is the, in buffer you studied, at half equivalent point pH equals to pK. Because half is neutralized means log of salt by acid, this will be 1. Na? Half neutralized means this will be 50%, this will be 50%, both are same. So, that ratio is 1. So, pH equals to pK. So, pH equals to pK, that is 4.57. So, 4.57 is your pK1 you got. Now, if it is completely neutralized, you will get salt. You will get salt. And what is this salt? The salt is, this is the salt, and this is the salt which has second dissociation constant, and this is salt coming. So, this can take proton and give proton in aqueous medium. So, this salt is just like, suppose you take H2S, then you get NaH, this type of salt. So, that means this salt can give proton. So, this salt can give proton from OH, and also this salt can take proton from water during hydrolysis. So, this is amphiprotic salt. This is what type of salt? Amphiprotic salt. Amphiprotic. So, this is amphiprotic salt. If you know that amphiprotic salt on hydrolysis, what is the formula? The formula is pH is equal to pK1 plus pK2 by 2. This is the formula. pH is equal to pK1 plus pK2 by 2 is the formula. So, because this on hydrolysis, this has only two dissociation constant. This is pK1 and this is pK2. So, if any acid having two dissociation constant and amphiprotic species of that acid undergoing hydrolysis, we can apply this formula. So, now he is telling pH at this stage is 7.02, pK1 already you got 4.57 plus pK2 by 2 is equal to 7.02. Now, if you solve, you will get pK2 also. Okay. So, this first step reaction is half neutralization point, second step reaction is complete neutralization point. Okay. So we are applying formula accordingly. For half neutralization point, pH equals to pK1. For complete neutralization, we can have salt. So hydrolysis of salt we can take, hydrolysis of salt of amphiprotic ion. So we can use this formula and you will get answer. Now next question, let us see. Solid AgNO3 is added slowly to a solution containing 0.1 molar each of Ki, KCl and KBr. Which silver halide will be precipitated first and which will be at last? This is part A. Part B is, what percentage of first silver halide will be precipitated when second halide precipitation is just started? Okay. So KSP all given. So first of all, you see which silver halide precipitation will be first. How to know? See, when you are adding silver nitrate from 0, 0.01, little you are adding. So silver plus ion is increasing when you are adding. So suppose silver plus ion required minimum for precipitation of AgCl, AgBr, AgI, that will be precipitated first. Whichever is maximum, that will be precipitated last. So where Ag plus requirement is minimum, that will be precipitated first. So let us try. So for precipitation of silver chloride, how much silver plus required, that you calculate. Silver plus how much required, you calculate that. Okay. So how can you calculate? Because for precipitation, what is the condition? Ionic product is equal to KSP. This is the condition for precipitation. If this is the condition for precipitation, then silver plus required for precipitation of silver halide is KSP of silver chloride divided by Cl minus. So KSP of silver chloride how much given? 1.7 into 10 to the minus 10 divided by Cl minus how much given? 0.1. So it is coming how much? 1.7 into 10 to the minus 8. Now for precipitation of silver bromide, how much silver plus required? You find that. So you know that silver plus into Br minus is equal to KSP of AgBr. So Ag plus required is KSP of Br minus. Br minus is how much? So KSP of Br minus given is how much? 0.1. So KSP is how much? What is the KSP value? KSP value is given AgBr 5 into 10 to the minus 13 by 0.1. So this is coming 5 into 10 to the minus 12. Okay. So this is minus 12. So similarly, for precipitation of AgI, Ag plus how much required, you calculate. So you know that for precipitation of AgI, Ag plus into I minus ionic product must be equal to KSP. Now Ag plus is equal to KSP divided by I minus. So KSP of AgI how much? 8.5 into 10 to the power minus 17 divided by I minus is 0.1. So it is coming 8.5 into 10 to the power minus 16. So you tell me which will be precipitated first, where Ag plus requirement is minimum. This is 10 to the minus 16, this is minus 12, this is minus 8. Obviously last third one AgI. So first AgI will be precipitated, then will be AgBr, then AgCl. This is the order of precipitation. Okay, understood? First part is understood, first part is easy. So Without calculation also you can do, because Ksp by halide ion in all case, requirement of Ag plus equals to Ksp by halide ion. Halide ion for all same 0.1 given. Ksp wherever is minimum, there Ag plus required is minimum. So that is for AgI. So without doing also you can tell. But you have to do, first time you are solving, means you have to solve and get the value, then only if you tell, then it is good practice. So this is the part A you have done. Now let us see the part B. So let us see part B. So we understood that AgI will be precipitated first, then AgBr, then AgCl. So now what he is telling? He is telling that what percentage of first silver iodide, means AgI first precipitated, what percentage of AgI will be precipitated when second halide precipitation is started, means when AgBr precipitation started, what percentage of AgI will be precipitated. So we know that when AgBr precipitation is started, then what is the concentration of Ag plus? Already we have done. Concentration of Ag plus when AgBr precipitation is started is 5 into 10 to the power minus 12. That we have done. Okay. Now when Ag plus concentration in solution this much, because nowhere you get 100% precipitation. So if Ag plus there in solution, when AgBr precipitation is started, that time almost most of the AgI will be precipitated, but some AgI will be left, because all I minus will not be precipitated. So when Ag plus in solution this much, then what is the I minus in solution? How to get? I minus in solution will be Ksp by Ag plus in solution. So Ag plus in solution is this much. Okay. So when Ag plus in this solution is this much, so Ksp is how much? Ksp of AgI. So Ksp of AgI is 8.5 into 10 to the power minus 17 divided by Ag plus how much? 5 into 10 to the power minus 12. So it is coming 5, 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 5. So I minus in solution will be this much, because AgI precipitation is started. You have I minus 0.1. So from 0.1 Ag plus you are adding, AgI precipitation coming, AgI increasing. When you are adding increasing AgI, when you are increasing Ag plus concentration, and when Ag plus concentration becomes this much, then AgI is precipitated, but AgBr precipitation is started. That time I minus in solution will be this much. That time I minus in solution is this much. Then I minus total was how much? 0.1, and I minus solution this much is there. So you tell me how much percentage of I minus in solution? This much in solution from this much. So what is the percentage? Percentage is 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 5 divided by 0.1 into 100. So this is coming 1.7 into 10 to the power minus 5, so 4, 2, minus 2 coming. So 0.017 percentage. This much percentage will be I minus in solution. So if this is the percentage of I minus in solution, then percentage of I minus, that percentage of I minus that precipitated out, is equal to percentage of I minus that precipitated out is equal to 100 minus 0.017 percentage. So that will be the percentage of I minus that precipitated out. That is 100 minus this, so you will get 99 point. If you subtract 99.983, so this much percentage of AgI will be precipitated out. Okay, because I minus in solution is this much, if you subtract how much in solution, remaining will be precipitated out, right? So next question, you see, at what minimum pH will 10 to the power minus 3 mole of AlOH3 go into solution with volume 1 liter as AlOH4 minus, and at what minimum pH will dissolve as Al3 plus, given AlOH4 minus, reversible equilibrium, Al3 plus 4OH minus aqueous. K equilibrium given 1.3 into 10 to the minus 34. And AlOH3 plus aqueous gives you Al3 plus and 3OH minus, KSP is given. So, two parties there. At what minimum pH AlOH3 goes as AlOH4 minus, and at what minimum pH it goes as Al3 plus. So, now you see, suppose AlOH3 dissolve as Al3 plus, that means if it is 10 to the minus 3, if it is dissolving, it will change to 10 to the minus 3 of Al3 plus. Second part. So, if it is dissolved as 10 to the minus 3 Al3 plus, so this like second reaction. If second reaction is like this, then Al3 plus is given. If Al3 plus is given, we know that KSP is equal to ionic product Al3 plus into OH minus whole cube. So, Al3 plus is given 10 to the minus 3, okay, and OH minus whole cube. So, this is equal to KSP. What is KSP? 5 into 10 to the power minus 33. This is KSP. Now, what is the pH is asking? So, from this OH minus we can get OH minus Q is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 33 divided by 10 to the power minus 3 is equal to 5 into 10 to the power minus 30. So, if you get OH minus, then POH you can calculate. OH minus will be cube root of 5 into 10 to the minus 30. So, Q root of 5 into 10 to the power minus 10. So, you can get OH minus. If you get OH minus, POH you can get, then pH you can calculate. Okay. So, this is the one part. Now, second part, AlOH3 goes as AlOH4 minus, means suppose AlOH3 is going and changing as AlOH4 minus. So, this is 10 to the minus 3, it goes like this, means this becomes 10 to the minus 3. If AlOH4 minus 10 to the minus 3, then what is pH or POH? From past equation you see, Kc is equal to Al3 plus into OH minus whole fourth divided by AlOH4 minus. So, this is your Kc, and Kc is given as, sorry, okay, K equilibrium Kc same, right, 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 34. This is Kc given. If this is Kc, you are told to find OH minus. How to get OH minus? AlOH4 minus, how much given? AlOH4 minus given 10 to the minus 3, right. And you need pH, OH minus to the power 4. What is Al3 plus? Oh, getting Al3 plus is difficult. But you know that Al3 plus into OH4 minus, this, you know this value. See, Al3 plus into OH minus to the power cube. So this you can write Ksp into OH minus to the power 1. Did you understand? See, you can write Ksp as L3 plus into OH minus whole cube. So L3 plus is there, OH minus whole cube means OH minus to the power 1 is there. So this you can write Ksp into OH minus. So this will be equal to your 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 34. So from this value you can find OH minus. So OH minus is equal to 1.3 into 10 to the power minus 34 into 10 to the power minus 3 divided by Ksp. What is Ksp? 5 into 10 to the power minus 33. So how much coming? So 10 to the power minus 33 minus 34 minus 1. So it's coming 10 to the power minus 4. So here it is coming 10 to the power minus 4 and 1.3 by 5 how much? 0.26 10 to the minus 4. So OH minus you got. If you get OH minus, you can calculate pH. Okay. So this will be minimum pH. You can check this is the minimum pH. More than this pH is also possible. So if you solve, you will get answer. Right then. Thank you. Okay then, thank you. Bye. Have a good day. You solve questions.